Posting 100 TikToks in 30 days. We are at the midpoint. We're going to talk about the journey so far. Let's talk about numbers real quick.
In terms of numbers, I've gotten to about 36, which, I mean, if you're keeping
Nice,
track, is a
nice.
little bit less than how much I was expecting to be at this point, just in terms
Yeah.
of the overall competition.
And then I got around 25, 24. I have definitely fallen behind. If I were to keep going at this rate, basically, I would only do half the challenge. But we're going to talk about the process, the journey, and things we've learned. And I'm going to talk about why I feel like this challenge is, at least for me, I've done a little bit of a pivot and have decided I feel like it's not worth trying to reach the 100. And like I said, I'll mention why. But first, let's talk about your side. How was making the videos? What have you learned, I guess? Big takeaways.
Big takeaways. I have been trying to be more strategic and planning in terms of like thinking ahead of time about the kinds of videos that I want to make. And one of the strategies that I've been using over the last 2 weeks has been to sit down with like literally a pen and paper
Hmm.
and write down ideas. And like I'll sit there until I have a certain number of ideas, and then once I have that number, then I just film it and I go. And I think that's been helpful just in terms of generating ideas and like concepts for videos, and also organizing my thinking, because there are sometimes, even like before I started doing this, where I would think of an idea for a video, but then I would forget about it by the time I was ready to record videos. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that strategy is something that I've been employing a little bit more often in this challenge for
Do you
sure.
have a top few videos, maybe like in terms of numbers, and then also like any favorite videos you've made?
Over the past 2 weeks,
Yeah, since the challenge began.
that's a good question. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So there was a video, and it was just kind of like a little thing. It was referencing again a cultural thing that happened.
Hmm.
That I think I mentioned in our initial video, that some of the videos that have gotten the most traction for me have been stuff that usually reference cultural things
Yeah.
or events that happen. And so this video, it got 20,000 views.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a direct reference to this Taylor Swift situation that happened
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
over
yeah.
Halloween. Exactly. And so because it was like connected to something cultural and like famous that was going on, it got that level of traction. And then after that was a 5,000 view video that was literally it was about the same topic, but just like a little bit
Take.
different.
Yeah.
But those were like my two most highly performing videos in the last 2 weeks. Yeah,
Okay. For
yeah.
me, I'm looking at it right now for TikTok, and it seems like the shorter videos are the ones that have done better overall. I had one where I talked about an IC card and how you can actually just use it on your phone. That one seems to be around 4,000 views and has the highest.
Oh,
So 4,000 was the highest. And then from there, everything else was around maybe an average of like maybe 900-ish. I had one where traveling in Japan during a certain week, like end of December, beginning of January, might not be a good idea because it's like a national holiday. So a lot of places are closed or
mm,
places that are open are crowded. So that was like a very quick video. That one's like second place. And that was 2,500 on TikTok. And right here for
okay.
YouTube, because I did do it on multiple platforms. On YouTube, the same video for the winter warning, I guess, was 33,000 actually. So
Oh,
that
okay.
surprised me actually. And then there was a
Mm,
video I made, the same Suica card or IC card thing got 8,000 views on YouTube. And then there was a Halloween video
okay.
where I basically just said like Halloween's not really a thing in Kyoto, Japan. And that one got like 32,000 on YouTube. So
Okay.
again, but this is,
Nice.
I have around 3,000 subscribers now on YouTube. So that might be the reason because probably some
Got you.
of my subscribers are watching.
Or at
And
least
then, yeah. And then I also made a video about doing push ups in Japan back when I was in college or right after college. That one got 12,000.
Mhm.
I'm actually happy about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
On TikTok, that video only got 1,000. So it seems overall for me, at least, my YouTube numbers are generally higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for Instagram, I for whatever reason, I think I messed up. I was using an account where I erased everything from the account, and then I just started posting, but then they were getting 0 views for like a good week. And I was like, okay, so obviously
Mm.
something's wrong. So I just started a brand new account instead. And once I started posting again, then I was starting to get some views around maybe like 400, 500 views. So very little on
Okay.
Instagram. That's like the lowest for sure.
Okay.
But I did not really post that much though. Yeah, actually, I'm looking now for the Instagram one. It's like an average of maybe 150 views, but one of them got like 1,000. I
Okay.
only posted 8 videos because dude, posting takes so much longer than you think. It just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so annoying. I
It's
thought
it's
that
it's a
I
lot.
don't know. I thought like most of the work is like in the editing and filming and all that stuff, which it is, but like posting adds a lot of time, especially when you're posting the same video and you're trying to do 3 posts a day for 3 platforms. That's so much.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. It's a lot. How do you think that the like balancing the different platforms has been? Do you feel like you have, like you said, that YouTube seems to be where you're getting a little bit more
Yeah.
movement? Do you feel like that will impact like prioritizing YouTube after this challenge?
I think so. I think that I will continue to make shorts based on YouTube and TikTok. What I learned, I think one of the biggest lessons I think from this whole thing was I feel like the videos that I'm creating, they feel similar to what I was doing in Japan previously, which was I was doing a challenge
Okay.
where I posted every single day for a year. And the videos weren't very good quality. I mean, they were not bad quality, but basically, instead of making 30 videos, I could have spent the same amount of time and effort and made maybe like 2 to 4 really, really good videos, like much better in quality. And I feel obviously TikTok, YouTube Shorts, short form content in general, they have slightly different like return on investment probably. Like I think the topic itself probably matters way more than anything else and what you're sort of
Mm.
doing in front of for the video, but I still think that quality is something I want to aim for more instead of just because there were some videos, honestly, I just try to meet the quota where I just like, oh, there's some nice footage from Japan, so I just posted that, and I didn't really do much else.
Yeah, the weird thing about TikTok is that sometimes those are the videos that will pop off, like the ones that you don't care about and you just put up there. Like that happened
Yeah,
to me a couple of times of just like, oh, I need to post something for today. Let me just,
yeah,
and then, but yeah, no, different platforms are different. I definitely think quality matters more on YouTube than it does on TikTok.
yeah, maybe, but for sure for the 15, 30, 60 experiments, the shorter ones were better. 15 to 30 seconds seems to just be better in general for the view count. And
Makes
so that conclusion, I'll probably just try to make more videos along that length. And for the quality stuff, one of the reasons why I believe this more is because I went back to watch an online course that I bought a while ago. It was pretty cheap. It was just like $50 about these people who did short form content, mostly on Instagram and TikTok, I think. And they talked about how they think quality is the number one thing you should aim for. And it should be about creating a repeatable format that is really good. And I also watched a video that one of our friends, Andrew, he linked me a video about this guy who's talking about how to grow big on TikTok. And he was saying the same
mm,
thing. You basically need to have a very repeatable but good format that makes people want to click or watch, not click, watch, and then also just like you're hooked in the beginning and then you just want to find
follow.
out what's going on. Yeah. And the guy was like this bus
Yeah.
driver guy who basically just makes the same video over and over again, which is his life as a bus driver and then like what he does outside of the bus driving or yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that's why I feel like if
Interesting.
I were to make a certain type of video where if it did get big and I don't want to make that style anymore, there's really no point, I suppose, unless that's what my channel is, which is like scattershot everything. But the whole formats thing does
Mm.
sort of make sense, and I do want to try that a bit more, especially when I'm actually in Japan. Like you know what I want to try is the photography stuff, like street photography stuff, where you ask people, can you take photos of them, or just
Oh,
interviews in Japan as well, just like in
yeah.
person. Because I did some studying. I actually finally watched
Yeah.
some TikToks, and I was like, I kind of enjoy this content, and I want to try my hand at making them.
Yeah. No, I think that having a repeatable format is definitely a good idea. That's something that I am thinking about in terms of just like, well, Right now, I'm actually thinking about subjects that I want to kind of dive into a little bit more in my channel
Hmm.
and do more strategic positioning for who I am and what I'm doing on TikTok in the first place. And
Mm.
so right now, I think that just like still in the idea stage, but there are two arenas that I feel like I can make videos about on a consistent basis, and I probably should, just so that I can kind of position myself as a an authority in these spaces. I think
Hmm.
that is public health, because that's what my undergraduate and graduate degrees are in.
Mm.
And secondly, AI. I feel like that's just something that is new and upcoming and has so
Yeah.
many different applications that if you talk about it, especially like you talk about it specifically as it applies to a certain
Field.
subject or an area,
Yeah.
I think that's really, yeah, I think that's a good strategy to have. And so I've been thinking about that and like ways to incorporate that from a topic perspective. As far as framework is concerned, that's definitely something that I need to also think about, because I think it would be great to have a consistent framework to which I can use those topics and make videos about them.
Yeah.
Because yeah, right now my channel is kind of is a little bit more generalized. I talk about like movies and stuff like that as well. And like I plan to still talk about the things that interest me, but I also want to make sure I also want to kind of direct my content in a way that it becomes a little bit more either educational or just like helpful to people who are watching.
Gotcha. I think that's actually really, really smart because what I've learned on YouTube all these years, a lot of people who give advice for how to grow bigger on YouTube is to go from that identity perspective. So, whatever, I guess, whatever credentials you have, it's cool to mention it and to look at it from that perspective. There's so many videos on YouTube that are like that, basically like a doctor's perspective, a lawyer's perspective, and so on. And it makes it a bit more interesting
Hmm.
because they do have that credential and in some ways like identity too. It's a bit more interesting than just a completely general viewpoint.
Right. Right.
So yeah, I should try that too. I should apply that a bit more often. I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, my plans moving forward, it's kind of funny because I feel like for you, you feel like you need to be. You started off really really general, and you're trying to get closer to, I guess, some structure in terms of like how you approach it with perspective or identity. But for me, I started off really niche with the whole Japanese stuff, and I kind of feel like I'm trapped. I kind of feel like I want to do the opposite. I want to move towards the general
Mm-hmm.
because I kind of feel like I don't want to just make content about Japan and Japanese stuff, to be honest. I feel like it's too restrictive. I want to talk about so many other things. And I guess I could come from like an angle where I can mention things related and I can make content about it often, but I don't want to make it my entire thing, basically. If I'm going to do the whole photography
Yeah.
and travel stuff, I'm going to make a different account for it because I feel like, of course, the niche will work better if it's just like one style of video on the same account. But I think for my YouTube channel and for my general TikTok channel, I'm just gonna start posting about random, not random, but like the stuff that I'm interested in, which eventually will turn into its own niche of like, I like talking about self-improvement stuff, creative stuff, and Japan as well. But like, it's not going to be the same format over and over again, like how the other people said to do, I suppose.
Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that there's a balance between the just like sticking to one specific field exclusively and then also being able to incorporate or just like being general and not having any sort of direction. I think it's good for people to actually I was just listening to somebody talk about this as it pertains to fitness specifically.
Hmm.
Um talking about how a lot of the successful people who are in the fitness space aren't exclusively in fitness. Like some of the content creators that have seen a lot of success, they have like a general like lifestyle account where they you see their life and like you see their house, their cars or whatever, and like they're doing things, and then they're like, yeah, let's go to the gym, and then you'll see their gym session, and like that's kind of their specific niche, but they're not limited to that niche. They also talk about all the other things that they have going on in their life, but you know that these guys are good resources for gym content if that's what you're looking for. And so
Yeah.
I think that there is a good balance to be able to strike there.
Yeah, definitely. So I feel like if anything, we've learned a lot from this experience and we can take away those lessons for sure. I think for me, I'm not going to
Mhm.
focus too much on the numbers from now on, but I will continue to post. I would try to post at least daily. At the end of the challenge, we can see how much we ended up posting just to complete the challenge. But I feel like for me, I rather play it smart than just like go off of quantity, which is kind of like the immature. It almost feels like over time, understanding the platform and understanding and trying things, it helped accelerate the process of learning for me, which was good. Like doing the 25 within the 2 weeks. I probably never normally would have done that under any other circumstances. So the challenge did push me to learn faster.
Right.
And now that I've learned, I want to apply it immediately and not just like foolishly keep posting quantity because I feel like it's going to turn out the same. It's just going to be like the same view count
Yeah.
and so on. It needs to there needs to be change, and change comes with like preparation, time, brainstorming, and stuff like that. And posting like 3 to 4 a
Yeah.
day is not going to help with that process.
That makes sense. That makes sense. It's good to, I think the value in posting a high volume is being able to have data that you can use to work smarter with. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's a good
definitely.
idea.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, thanks for joining me for this midpoint challenge review, and I think that's
Yes.
it. Do you have anything else?
Hey, if you are inspired to create, then go out there and create.
Nice. All right. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.